Hello and welcome back to the channel. Now, before the time of superhero shows and superhero films, when hero fatigue set in.
But they still wanna know we're making it. Talking like a barbecue, but you don't
Set. Before hero fatigue set in. Satan. There were only a handful of shows that really captured what it was like to have superpowers, or really, had their unique tastes. I think the most famous of shows was Heroes. Only OGs know about Heroes, but after season 3, it got very, very weak. I think we can all agree on that. But there was a British TV show that went under the world's radar. I think it was a bit of a cult classic in the UK. Some people have heard about it. A lot of people have not. But the ones that have heard about it remember it. It's not a show that you forget. Like, you remember it very, very vividly because of the weird and wacky powers, which I think is its strong point. A lot of shows, go with the stereotypical invisibility, flight, super strength, yada 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 yada. The list goes on. We've all seen it before. You get the point. But Misfits had some powers that I would say, I do argue, are they powers or are they disabilities? Let's be real, because you couldn't really use them, okay? So today, I'm going to cover some of the weird and wacky powers of Misfits. So, let's get started. The first power is power removal. That's quite convenient. Do you think? I think that's convenient. In a world where random people are getting random powers, to have the power to just remove someone's power, oh, blessing, amazing. You can get out of a lot of circumstances with that. But in this goddamn show, they make it not a normal power removal. He has to have sex with the person or thing.
Will you fuck my tortoise?
Just give me a minute to think about that. Actually, I don't need a full minute. It's a no.
I'll get to that a bit later. To get rid of the power. What sycophant.
Bigot. Ingrate. Sycophant. Worm.
Conjured that in his mind, okay? There's one episode in the later seasons where there is a person who, his power, and this is where I go back to, is it a power or a disability? Was he got turned into a turtle permanently. He's a turtle. And he asks the guy with power remover, whose name is Alex, by the way, it's key. It's a very key point, okay? Because a lot of people ask him, but to get rid of the power, not for, okay? But yeah, very weird, very wacky power. You get the premise, power removal, but he has to have with them, if that makes sense. If it's a girl, it's normal. If it's a boy, you know what boys do. And I don't know about anything else, to be honest. The next power I will discuss is accident causation. You may think, oh, what, to cause accidents to other people? No, to cause accidents to yourself. You can't control this power. It's like the X-Men character, I think she's from X-Men. I know she's from the universe. Domino, Eye Patch Girl, Deadpool 2, Lucky, she's always lucky, that's her power. Complete opposite, okay, of this power, which I'll get into later in this video. There's something called inverse powers that happens in this show, where if you have a power, it gets inverted, and I'm going to cover that because it's a little bit interesting. A character named Emma receives this power through the storm, naturally. Well, some people get their powers through other means. Like I just mentioned Alex with his removal power. He got it in a lung transplant, so he didn't get hit by no storm. A character named Emma received this power through the storm. Now, people's powers relate to their character or trait they have. Emma, she's clumsy, so she got bad luck. She got a bad luck power. That's just how it works in this universe. This power was later then accidentally given to a character called Sarah, who originally had a power called hypnotic breasts.
Hello, Alex.
Whatever you do not look at her tits. Guys, you're kidding me, aren't you? For fuck's sake.
It's pretty self-explanatory. Her breasts indiscriminately hypnotized anyone and everyone that laid eyes on just her. They just eyes up here, unable to do that. But this power was later given to Sarah, along with object inversion, satanic conversion, and her original hypnotic breasts. But unfortunately and predictably, it ended up killing Sarah. She slipped on a banana and hit her head, and she died, along with the powers with her. R.I.P. Sarah. The next power, I don't know who came up with it. I feel like they might be suffering with something, who knows, but hear me out. Alopecia projection. Alopecia projection. So, person can make anyone bald. This is from I think series 1, when a character named Jodie has alopecia. So she gets the power. So she gets hit by the storm and gets the power to make other people have alopecia. This next power, I feel, is a bit of a rehash of another power, okay, that happens in this show. But this power is body part swapping. The ability to swap body parts with another person. Yes, I know what you're thinking, and yes, they did do it. My man Alex, he came into the show with the JJ, okay? The story goes he encountered a transgender man. It was a woman that wants to be a man. I'm not good at this, I do apologise. But he encountered him, and using his power, the person that Alex encountered swapped their genitals. This person was transgender, so this person had a vagina and was transitioning. So Alex ended up with a vagina, and he came into story with a vagina.
I'll do anything, money, whatever it takes. Just find my cock.
So that's body part swapping for you. Wacky. I'm going to be saying that for all these powers, because whoever came up with that, I don't know. What scenario could you come up? What scenario would you want body part swapping with? Gosh, it's a tongue twister. Like, do you want to swap? Actually, if you want to get into a super secret base and you needed a fingerprint, you could body part swap someone's finger. That's a good one. I'm thinking, does a head work? Disguises. The ship of Theseus analogy. If the person replaced their whole body parts with someone else, are they still them? Who knows? The next power is mentioned very briefly, but a lot of people I feel should have this power in the world, and I feel like you would agree with me. This power is closet portation. The ability to teleport to a closet whenever the user denies their sexuality. Pretty simple. This is from a man called Stuart. He's very brief in the story, probably like one scene. And he's obviously a gay man, insecure about coming out gay. This power, I think, hear me out, it's teleportation and it's control. Think about it, you're at gunpoint, okay? And you just need to convince the person somehow to that you're straight, and boom, you teleport, you get out of there. Now, bear in mind they teleport to the nearest closet, so it's not like they teleport anywhere. I feel like situationally, you could use this maybe if you were like, okay, I go next to a building, I know there's no other closets nearby, I need to get inside this building, boom, bish bash bosh. Talk to yourself, mirror, I'm straight. Poof. In a building, you got money, bank, okay, there wouldn't be a closet in a bank, but I digress. Now this next power I popped in here because it reminds me of the show I mentioned earlier, Heroes. One of the powers has the ability to paint the future, and it's practically the same thing here, except they draw the future. There's nothing wacky about it. I just wanted to put the link together and just say, yeah, they're quite similar powers. One paints, one draws. It's just that. Nothing else. Nothing perverted about this one. But the next one is perverted. The next power, genital erosion, I think is quite perverted. Just simply perverted. Genital erosion. Now the story with this power is a character named Lee and one of our protagonists later in the series called Rudy from the hit show Brassic start doing the, you know, the tango dance of the human species, if that makes sense. And Lee asks Rudy to call her after he leaves to ensure that it's just not another one night stand. It is clear that this character Leah doesn't like one night stands. She might have had them in the past or whatever, but for whatever reason she hates them, she doesn't like them, quite insecure about them, who knows. Right before Rudy leaves, because Rudy is, in better words, a prick, he straight up says after they sleep together, I am not going to call you, I don't care, this was just a one night stand. So Lee uses her power, slowly eroding their genitalia away. It's not a fast thing, okay? It's not like it just disintegrates. It's a slow process of just slow erosion. But Rudy, obviously having an eroding genitalia, searches for the last person he slept with, being Leah, and then Leah just simply, you know, reverts it back. And that's the end of that. But weird and wacky power, I must say. Perverted at the most. Now this next power I won't delve into because it's quite self-explanatory. That being pregnancy transfer. So if you're pregnant, you can transfer your pregnancy to someone else. You know, a lot of mums would love that, or a lot of ex-mums in that case would love that. But yeah, there's a whole episode about that. Watch the show if you want to see what that power is and the story with that. This next power I feel like would be a societal downfall, in terms of a lot of things would start crumbling, if that makes sense. This next one is sexual partner count. So within proximity of this person, a number will appear on your forehead, and that number is the number of people you have been sexually intimate with. You see how I'm referencing a lot of sex in this show? You see, the creators, in my opinion, must be very perverted to come up with these shows. Must be very perverted to come up with these powers. Powers, I say. I dare say. Now the last segment of this video I'd like to talk about is inverse powers. Now this is when a character with powers reverts. So the effects of their powers are reversed. This only happens in this show when the character takes the drug ecstasy. It's kind of like in that episode of Ben 10 when he had a cold and all his aliens' powers were reversed, like Heatwave got ice powers. Remember that? But I digress. The first power I'd like to talk about is desirability, which is the inverse power of invisibility. Briefly held by one of our main protagonists, Simon. His power obviously is invisibility, which relates to his shyness. You know, he doesn't like to, you know, be the center of attention. He's very, you know, timid. So when he takes ecstasy, his power of invisibility gets turned into desirability. Everyone in the room is just in awe, besotted by you. So when he's in the club, everyone is staring at him, and it's a power that he cannot turn off or control. With invisibility, he could control it. With desirability, now the next power is, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, so correct me if I'm doing. Social Feria. Social fear? Social hatred. I'll rename it to social hatred. This is the inverse power of Alicia's power, one of our other protagonists, who has the ability to turn any person she touches into a sex slave or an absolute rapist. The best way to describe it, that wants to rape her, if that makes sense.
I'm arresting you for breaching the terms of your ASBO.
Oh, you're not serious.
Oh, I want you so bad. I need your loving, you sexy little minx.
Shit, let go of me!
Let's do it on the desk.
But her inverse power is social hatred. It affects people in a crowd-like radius, so anyone around you hates you, and they don't have to touch you. So with her normal power, they have to touch her, and that's simply that, and then their power activates, and they have to hold on to her as well. But with her inverse power, like Simon's, it just affects a crowd. It's like crowd control. It affects a radius of people around. And the last power I'd like to talk about, the last inverse power I'd like to talk about, is enhanced mortality. This is the inverse power of Nathan's ability, immortality. So what do you think that is? Enhanced mortality. You're more alive? No. You're more prone to death, basically. I don't really know too much about it, but it's almost like you can just die a lot easier than the normal person. That's the best way I can put it. But that's all the weird and wacky powers from Misfits. If you liked this video or liked the powers I talked about in this video, you're a pervert. But mainly, you should probably watch the show. It's a good show. Not a lot of people know about it. But yeah, if you like this style of video as well, you know, give it a thumbs up. This is my official first green screen video, which is funny because I've tried making a green screen video before, but I just never finished it. I got about 60% of the way, and I was like, am I passionate about this? I don't know. But this topic I've been thinking about for a while, so I just wanted to get it out there. If you've liked this video, subscribe. Gamper is out.